This is Masinloc School on the Air in collaboration with Servicion Putog Radio, DWSP 101.5 News FM. Another learning experience in English 10. Our teacher broadcaster for this are Teacher Jameson Elanas of Bambana National High School.
Good day, 10th graders. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. It's another great learning day. This is Teacher Jameson. Join me as we discover and experience fun and challenging adventures in learning grade 10 English. Our target most essential learning competency for this week is give expanded definition of words. After going through this lesson, you are expected to give the importance of forming expanded definition of words, determine the different techniques of expanded definitions, and use a variety of techniques in expanding definitions. Isn't that exciting? Today, you will learn how to give expanded definition using various ways. You will be needing this skill as you write your research report or research paper, wherein you need to discuss more than just the dictionary meaning of words. For a concept to be understood better, you need to explain more about an idea by giving expanded definition. An expanded definition is an important writing tool you will need if you are writing for a person who is not an expert or specialist in a particular subject. An expanded definition explains a complex or unfamiliar term to make it easier to understand, which is important to effective communication. An expanded definition defines and explains a single term, concept, or object, pins down the meaning of a specific word, or defines an abstract concept, and goes deeper than a simple dictionary definition. Or in other words, an expanded definition is a one or more paragraphs that attempt to explain a complex term. An expanded definition starts with a full definition of term. That is, one sentence definition, and then expand to at least one paragraph long or more. Here is an example of full definition. This is the basic form we use in defining terms. Arbitration is a legal process in which the opposite sides in a dispute agree to abide by the settlement decision of a third party. In this particular definition, we actually use a common pattern, that is, the definiendum or the term to be defined, the genus or the general class to which the term belongs, and differentia or a distinguishing characteristic that sets the term from other members of the same class. Here are other examples. Take note that the word in boldface is the term defined. The underline is class to which the term belongs, and italicized is the distinguishing characteristics. Number 1. Editorial is a journalistic piece of writing, which is designed to inform, entertain, and influence the readers. Number 2. A modem is a device that makes possible the transmission of data to or from a computer via telephone. Number 3. Pneumonia is a lung infection that can be caused by different types of germs, most commonly viruses. Number 4. A thesis statement is a sentence that states the main point or idea. Number 5. An octogenarian is a person who is between 80 and 89 years old. Now, let's go back to our first example. Arbitration is a legal process in which the opposite sides in a dispute agree to abide by the settlement decision of a third party. This definition in sentence form can become an expanded definition by expanding it using some techniques. These are the various techniques in expanding definition. Number 1. Etymology. Etymology explains the origin of the word itself. Let's use the term arbitration. Arbitration comes from the Latin word judicium, which means judgment. Number 2. History. History discusses the history of the term, its use, and controversies associated with it. For example, the use of arbitration as third-party mediation dates from the 1630s. Number 3. Cause and effect. Cause and effect discusses how the situation came about and what effects it may have. For example, an arbitration clause is considered to be ambiguous when the parties do not express clearly that in case of conflict, the method to use to settle the disagreements will be arbitration. Hence, parties are compelled to refrain from signing confusing agreements to arbitrate, because the general rule is that arbitration is prompted out of the contract. And if there is not an explicit arbitration clause within the contract, it would not be an agreement to arbitrate. Number 4. Description. Description lists and defines the term. For example, arbitration is the process of solving an argument between people by helping them to agree to an acceptable solution. It is the formal process of having an outside person chosen by both sides to a disagreement to end the disagreement. Number 5. Principles of operation. Principles of operation discuss how something functions, including any special materials or conditions required. For example, arbitration is conducted by a trained arbiter who sets down the rules that the parties must abide by. The object of resolution of disputes by an impartial third party without unnecessary expense or delay. Parties should be free to agree on how their disputes are resolved, subject only to such safeguards as are necessary for the public interest. Courts should not interfere. Number 6. Classification. Classification shows how the topic fits into a larger category. For example, arbitration is one of the alternatives to going into a formal court to settle disputes. Number 7. Contrast. Contrast shows how the topic differs from others in the same class. For example, in an arbitration proceeding, lawyers are present. The main difference between arbitration and litigation law is that the court is involved in the case of litigation, as it is a lawsuit, whereas in arbitration, a settlement between the parties is done outside of court. Number 8. Comparison. Comparison shows how the topic is similar to others in the class. For example, as with lawsuits or other court proceedings, the decision in an arbitration proceeding is legally binding on the parties. Number 9. Analogy. Analogy explains and compares two dissimilar topics, where the second is familiar to the audience. For example, an arbiter is like a referee. He or she listens to both sides and decides as to who is at fault without the intervention of outside parties. Number 10. Examples. Examples represent other things because they have all the main qualities or characteristics that the thing they represent also have. For example, arbitration was used to settle the dispute between the labor union and and management. Two people who are divorcing cannot agree on terms and allow a third party to come in to help them negotiate. Number 11. Illustrations. Illustrations are pictures in a book, magazine, and others, or the process of illustrating something. So those are the techniques and expanding definition of words. With all those in your mind and in your notes, I am sure that you are now ready for an activity. Now, flip your module to page 8 and do the What I Can Do part. Use 5 techniques and expanding definitions to explain the term research. Don't forget to write your answers on your notebook. I will give you 10 minutes to accomplish this task. Welcome back, learners. Did you accomplish the task? That's awesome. Now, can you name at least 5 techniques you can remember? Wow, that's a progress. You can practice your skills more in expanding definition of words by doing your activity sheets. And that ends our lesson for today. I really had a great time with all of you. I hope you did too. This is Teacher Jameson. Good day everyone. Keep safe and God bless you.